Hey, in our last video, we built out this vacation days remaining function that looks at the date of hire and calculates how many days they should get for the current year. It adds in any carryover days from previous years, and then it subtracts out the vacation days used, okay? So this carryover days, this is just a manual input. Nothing here is calculated automatically. HR just goes in and adds these when the next year turns over, okay? So for vacation days used, we are going to be pulling this data in from another sheet. All right, so let's go make another sheet. Go back to home, create a new sheet for vacation day requests. Okay, open this up. Our primary column again is going to be employee name. And then each of these new rows is actually going to be added from a form. So whenever an employee wants to make a vacation day request, they enter their name, they enter the first day that they will be out, so vacation start. This is a date column, going to restrict it. Vacation end, date, restrict. Okay, and then days out, which is going to be a function, days out. Okay, so we don't need these. All right, delete these columns. Okay, let me just save this really quickly, and then let's create a new form. Okay, so here's our form title. By default, it's going to be the name of the sheet, but we can change this, and it's not going to affect the name of the sheet. It's just going to be the name of the form. So let's do request vacation days. Okay. Employee name, this is going to be mandatory. Vacation start, mandatory. Vacation end, mandatory. Days out, this doesn't need to be in here because we're going to calculate that automatically, okay? Additional options, what do you want to happen after someone submits their form? Display a message is the default, that looks fine. You could also have the form automatically refresh after they submit it so that they can do another one right away. Send them to a custom URL. Enable confirmation email, sure, this lets them add in their email address so that they get a record of their entry. Where do you want the new rows to go? Do you want them to be added to the bottom of the sheet? So these would be added, so the first one would go here, then the next one, next one, next one, or do you want it to go to the top, in which case the first row would be here, and then the next one would go above it, above it, above it. Let's say bottom of the sheet is fine for this. Style, these are just some different looks that your form can have. Modern is fine for me. And then who do you want to be able to access this? It can be anyone who has the link, or you can restrict it so that someone has to be a registered Smartsheet user, and then they must log in. We have some additional security options, and then under the advanced form options, this is just whether or not you want to remove the branding from those pages. Okay, this is all fine. All right, looks great. And then let's preview it and give it a test. Okay, so employee name, let's just put test, vacation start. Let's do a whole week, so 4 through 8, submit. Okay, and then let's close this out and we will refresh. And there you go. So it was automatically added from that web form. Okay, now let's do days out. So to calculate days out, we're going to use a function called net work days, okay? So net days will just give you the number of days between two dates. Net work days will take into account weekends, so it won't count those if they are included in the range. Okay, start date, vacation start, comma, vacation end. And then the optional argument here is if you want to enter some holidays that you want it to exclude as well. So if someone has a holiday that falls during their vacation, so let's say someone has taken out the, let me look at this for an example. Okay, let's say someone wants to take a vacation from the 30th to the 3rd. We have a vacation day in here. Our office is closed on New Year's Day. So if they did this, all right, we do 12/30 to January 3rd. Okay, and then if we did our net work days, all right, start date, comma, end date, and I'm not adding anything into that optional argument. Okay, it's going to be 5 days, but really it should be 4 days because one of those days the office is closed, so they're not really using up a vacation day for that. Well, we could go in here and then add all of the days of office closures, but I don't really want to do that. So instead, I'm going to add an extra column for adjustments. Okay, so this is where an employee could add in, hey, one of the days that I'm out is a holiday. So you enter the number of holiday days that occur during your vacation, and then those will be subtracted from the days out that you're taking. Okay, so 1. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract those adjustments from our net work days. Okay, great. So now we added that. Let me update the form. I'm going to manage forms. Edit it, and then let's add in that new field we just created. Okay, and then I'm going to put in a little help text that says, if there is a holiday during your vacation, enter the number of holiday days here. They will not count against your total days remaining. Okay. Let's see, is there any other help text I want to add? All right, let me just make sure this is absolutely clear. The first day that you will be out of the office. All right, and then this is the last day that you will be out of the office. And let's add a little note here. If you are only taking one vacation day, the start date and end date will be the same. Okay, great. And adjustments, we are not making this mandatory, unlike the others, which are. Okay? Now for the next stage of our process. Okay, I added some new sample data, and now we're going to build out the function for vacation days used. Okay, so to do that, we are going to look back to the vacation day requests sheet. I filled out some more examples here. All right, so what we want to do is we want to get a sum of the days out, but only per employee. Okay, so let's go back here. Now, the function we're going to use is called SUMIFS. All right. Okay, the first argument is where we're going to find our criterion, the specific information. Okay, where do we want to search for that? Well, we need to reference another sheet. Okay, so this is where we want it to look for the employee name. I'm going to select this entire column, and then I'm going to change the sheet reference name. By default, it'll just be range 1, 2, 3, etc. But let's give it something meaningful. Okay, employee name. All right, insert reference. Okay, you can see my reference is in between curly braces. That lets us know that it is from another sheet. Stop it. Okay. Now the next part is the criterion. Which thing are we looking for in this range? Well, we are looking for employee name. So for this row, it's going to be Ella. For this row, it's going to be Reddington. Okay, and then what do we want it to add up? Well, I'm going to reference this sheet again. We're going to scroll over to days out, and we're going to name this days out. Insert reference. Okay, let's see if that works. All right, we get a 7 for Ella. Let's drag this down, and we get a 6 for Reddington. All right, let me just save this really quickly. Okay, let's jump back to our sheet and see if that's accurate. So I've got a 7 for Ella. All right, so Ella has 5 days here, 2 days here, 7, that's correct. Reddington has 4 days here and 2 days here, that's 6. Fantastic. Okay, so something else you may notice is that we have a little blue arrow pointing in on these cells. That lets us know that this is referencing data in another sheet. Now, if I hover over, you can see those references and you can click into them to open up this window again. Okay, on the other end, in vacation day requests, let me refresh this. Okay, now you can see all these little gray arrows out. That lets me know that this information is being used in a formula on another sheet. So it's another great little visual clue to say, hey, maybe you don't want to be messing around with this because it might affect something else. Okay, so this is a function. I'm going to color it Hit save, and then I'm also going to lock down this vacation used. Okay, best practices, right? We want to keep that data safe. Okay. Okay, so now we just need to share our form with our employees, right? Just can copy this, shoot it to them in an email, and they will be able to submit their vacation days, and we will always have an accurate count. In our next video, we will add an approval process so that each vacation day request will need to be approved by a supervisor before we add it into our calculation. Stay tuned.